What happens when you don't give up? The 1% rule. The alarm rang at 5:30 a.m. again, and again, Ethan hit snooze. It was the fourth time that week, not because he was lazy, but because he was tired. Tired of trying so hard and feeling like he was getting nowhere. He sat up slowly, his body aching, his mind even heavier. Another day. Another chance to chase a dream that didn't seem to want him back. He used to believe in himself, used to think hard work could fix anything. But lately, all that belief felt like an old photograph, fading, blurry, and painful to look at. Ethan was 29. He worked as a delivery driver by day and a content creator by night. His dream was to build a channel that inspired people, to tell stories about resilience, about getting up one more time. But after 3 years of uploading videos that barely hit 100 views, he was starting to wonder if maybe life was trying to tell him something. He stared at the cracked phone screen lighting up his desk. A single notification blinked from his latest upload. One new comment. He opened it. "Bro, you've been at this for years. Maybe it's time to quit." His throat tightened. He didn't even reply. He just locked the screen and looked away. It wasn't the comment that hurt. It was the fact that he had thought the same thing last night. He dragged himself to the mirror. Dark circles under his eyes. Hair messy. Expression blank. For a second, he didn't recognize the man staring back. This wasn't the same guy who once stayed up all night editing because he believed this video could change someone's life. Now, even hope felt heavy. He whispered, "Maybe I'm not built for this." But deep inside, another voice, faint, quiet, whispered back, "You are, just not yet." That day, Ethan went out for deliveries. The city was alive with sound. Horns, footsteps, conversations blending into chaos. Everyone seemed to be moving forward, while he felt stuck in place. He parked his bike outside a cafe, waiting for an order. He watched people inside, smiling, laughing, typing on laptops. They all looked like they knew what they were doing. And him? He was just trying not to fall apart. His phone buzzed. Another notification. He glanced down. Someone had commented on his old video from a year ago. "Hey man, I just wanted to say thank you. Your story helped me during a rough time." Ethan froze. He read it again. And again. Then he smiled. A small, shaky smile that felt like light breaking through clouds. One comment out of thousands. One person out of millions. But maybe that was enough. That night, he sat at his desk again. He opened a blank document. The cursor blinked. Waiting, patient. He stared at it for a long time before typing, "What happens when you don't give up?" He didn't know the answer yet, but something inside him wanted to find out. He made a promise to himself that night, not to be perfect, not to go viral, not to make it, just to get 1% better every day. That's it. No pressure, no big promises, just one small improvement every single day. He called it his 1% rule. The next morning, the alarm went off at 5:30 again. And this time, he didn't hit snooze. He got up, brewed coffee, and began editing before work. He didn't finish the video that day, but he made progress. 1%. The following day, he watched a tutorial on lighting. He didn't master it, but he learned one new thing. 1%. The next day, he rewrote his video scripts to sound more natural. Still not perfect, but better. 1%. It was slow, painfully slow, but it was something. And for the first time in a long time, he felt proud. Not of the result, but of the routine. Weeks passed, then months. Every morning, he woke up a little earlier. Every night, he went to bed a little more hopeful. The numbers didn't explode overnight. His videos still got low views. But slowly, something started changing. He noticed his thumbnails were improving. His voiceovers sounded clearer. His editing looked sharper. His subscribers grew. not in thousands, but in twos and threes. And more importantly, so did his confidence. One night, he got a message from a small creator halfway across the world. "Hey Ethan, I started because of your videos. Thank you for inspiring me." Ethan stared at the screen for a long time. That single message hit harder than any metric ever could. He realized something. He wasn't chasing numbers anymore. He was chasing purpose. He had stopped needing validation and started valuing progress. That night, he looked out the window at the quiet city. Lights flickered in apartment windows like little dreams that refused to die. And he whispered to himself, maybe that's all we're supposed to do. Just keep getting 1% better until life catches up. He uploaded a new video the next day. Title: The 1% Rule. It wasn't flashy, it wasn't trending, but it was real. He spoke from the heart about failure, doubt, and progress that no one sees. And for the first time, he didn't care if it got 1,000 views or 10. Because he knew the truth now, growth isn't about what you see on the outside. It's about what changes inside you when you decide not to give up. That night, he closed his laptop, smiled, and whispered, 1% done, 99% to go. And for the first time in years, he couldn't wait for tomorrow. The next few months felt like a quiet storm. No big wins, no viral moments. But for Ethan, every day was a small victory. He wasn't chasing the dream anymore. He was becoming it. Every morning, the 1% rule guided him like a compass. Some days, it meant learning a new editing trick. Other days, it meant resting, breathing, and letting his mind recover. But he showed up every single day. The seasons changed, winter turned to spring, and slowly, without him realizing, his 1% had started to multiply. One evening, he checked his YouTube analytics for the first time in weeks. His heart skipped. His last video, the 1% Rule, had crossed 100,000 views. He blinked, thinking it was a glitch. It wasn't. There were comments pouring in from people all over the world. This video changed how I see my life. I've been stuck for months. This gave me hope again. Thank you for reminding me that slow progress still matters. He leaned back in his chair, tears filling his eyes. This was it. Not fame, not money, but impact. He realized, when you stop trying to rush the result finds you. That week, his subscriber count exploded. Then his inbox filled with collaboration requests. But Ethan didn't feel overwhelmed. He felt calm because he knew he had earned every inch of it. This wasn't overnight success. This was every morning he refused to quit. Every time he chose progress over perfection. Every time he whispered to himself, just 1% better. Months later, Ethan was invited to speak at a local event for creators. He almost said no. Public speaking terrified him. But then he remembered who he was now. The man who kept showing up. So, he said yes. The night of the event, he stood backstage, heart pounding. Dozens of creators waited in the audience. He looked at them, young, tired, uncertain, and saw himself in every one of them. When it was his turn, he walked onto the stage, took a deep breath, and smiled. I failed for 3 years, he said. Every video flopped. Every dream felt pointless. But one day, I made myself a promise to get just 1% better every day. The room was silent. You could feel everyone listening. He continued, the truth is, you don't lose when you fail. You lose when you stop trying. You don't have to leap. You just have to move. Even if it's slow, even if no one notices. He paused, his voice trembling slightly. That's what happens when you don't give up. You change without even realizing it. One small step at a time. When he finished, the crowd stood up and applauded. Not because he was famous, but because they felt it. That night, Ethan returned home to his small apartment. Same walls, same desk, but it all looked different now. On his desk sat a sticky note, something he had written years ago and forgotten about. It read, "Don't quit. One day this will make sense." He smiled, folded it carefully, and stuck it back on the wall. He sat at his computer and began typing a new video script. This one wasn't about failure or views or motivation. It was about peace. He wrote, "The 1% rule isn't about getting there faster. It's about learning to love the process, even when the finish line feels far away. Because what you build slowly lasts." He hit save, turned off his computer, and sat in silence. For the first time in years, he felt whole. The next morning, his alarm rang again at 5:30 a.m. He smiled, got up, and brewed coffee. Not because he had to, but because he wanted to. That's what the 1% rule had given him. Not success, but identity. He wasn't the guy who failed anymore. He was the guy who kept going. And that's the truth about progress. You'll never feel it happening. It's invisible, quiet, hidden in your everyday actions. But one day, you'll look back and realize you've come so far, you can't even see where you started. That's what happens when you don't give up. You don't just change your life, you change yourself. So, if you're listening to this and you feel stuck, if life feels heavy and nothing seems to move, remember this. You don't have to do everything today. You just have to do one thing. One small thing. Because 1% better every day is still 365% better every year. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up. That's what happens when you don't give up. That's how the 1% rule changes everything. The end. A Wishper's Truth. Original story